Hey there guys, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be using the hover effect to create this cool animation with these 4 social media icons. So as you can see here, we've got 4 social media icons in the middle of the screen. You can see we've got Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat and TikTok. Now if we hover over one of these, you can see the icon in the middle does a complete 360, and then it also changes the background color of that circle to match the color of that social media icon. So blue for Facebook, we have red and white for YouTube, yellow and white for Snapchat, and then black and white for TikTok. So a pretty simple fun animation. And we're going to achieve this using JUST CSS and the hover effect. So the first thing we're going to do is just go inside of our index.html here and just create our skeleton HTML. So first we want to link the style sheet. We'll change the title here to be social media icons. The icons that we're going to be using are going to be from Font Awesome. All you need to do is just go in your browser, and whichever browser you're in, and just type in Font Awesome CDN. So once you've typed in Font Awesome CDN in your browser, you just go in the first link here, which is just Font Awesome Libraries, and then we're just going to click the first one here. So we'll just copy the link tag, head back to the HTML, and then just paste that in here, and that's how we're going to retrieve our icons. So inside of the body here, we're going to have 4 list items, which are going to be wrapped around in an unordered list, and we have li, and it will also be an anchor tag, and then inside of this anchor, we're going to include our icons. So we'll just use the icon. And this is going to have a class of FAB FA-Facebook for Facebook icon. I'm also going to include an icon class, which all the items are going to have. So let's just open this up with the live server, see what it looks like. So as you can see there, we've got the Facebook icon now. Then what we need to do is just duplicate this 3 more times. And for YouTube, it's going to be FA brands FA-YouTube. There's YouTube, and then for the third one it's going to be Snapchat. So Snapchat again is FA brands FA-Snapchat. And then lastly we'll have TikTok. So FA brands FA-TikTok. Save that. So now we have all of our icons, and we have our skeleton HTML here. Let's head into the style.css now and apply some styling, as well as creating that animation using the hover effect. So inside of the style sheet, we're first just going to target everything inside of our HTML here. So we're going to remove all of the margin, and we're going to remove all of the padding, as well as set the box size in to border box. And then we're just going to center everything. So we're going to target the body. So center everything in the body. We're going to give this a background color first of hex code 6495ED. And then we're going to use flex to center this. So flex, display flex, justify content to the center, line items to the center, and then just give this a height of 100 viewport heights. So that centers our content. Next we want to put the icons in a horizontal line. So we'll say UL, which is the unordered list wrapping around all of the list items. Set this to a display of flex. Now let's remove the bullet point. So we're going to say UL, all of the list items. We want the list style to be none. Save that, gets rid of those. Next, now we actually want to target the anchor tags, which is the element which is wrapped around each of the icons. So we're just going to give that some styling. So we'll say UL li a. We'll give them all a background color of white. Let's make these a bit bigger. We'll say width 80 pixels, and then height also 80 pixels. And then let's increase the font size of the actual icons. So let's say 35 pixels. So this will make them quite big now. Let's put some space in between all of these. So we'll say margin 0 on the top and bottom, and then 10 pixels on the left and right. So they're nice and evenly spaced now. Now let's give these a border. Say solid 3 pixels white. And then let's make that curved. So border radius 50%. And let's make sure the icons are in the middle. So we'll say text align to the center. So that centers the content. let's also set a position of relative to this, because we're going to be positioning the pseudo element of before. We're going to be positioning that absolute relative to these icons. So we'll save that for now. We still haven't finished with the styling here, but first I just want to create that pseudo element. So we'll say ul li a, and then grab that pseudo element of before. And then for this to show, we're going to need to set the content to an empty string, and then obviously position this absolute, and then let's give this a width of 100% of its container, and then a height of 100% too. And then let's take a look at what this looks like at the moment. So we'll say background color, just give it all of a background color of red. So that's the pseudo element of before. Now sitting on top of these, we initially want these to be underneath the icons, and then when we hover over them, these will move upwards. So we're actually going to need to set the top of this to be 100%. So now they're right underneath the icons, and then from the left, we'll also say just 0. And because we want this to be smooth, we'll set the transition property to be 0.5 seconds. We want this to sit on top of everything bar the icons, so we'll set the z index of these to be 2. So that's all we're going to need for the pseudo element. Let's take a look at what this will look like when we hover over these. So we'll say ul li a hover, and we apply the hover onto the pseudo element of before, so the red boxes we just created there. And then we want to say from the top, let's just stick it to 100 at the moment because it's already 100%. So again, these boxes are 100% absolute from the icons because we set the position here to relative for the actual anchor tags, and the pseudo element is sitting absolute. And because we set the top here to be 100, 100 essentially puts them right down to the bottom of the icons here. And then on hover, what we want is that when we hover over the icons, these squares will move up and create that animation for us. So if I just set this to 0 now, save this, and I'll hover over the icons now, you can see they're moving back to that original position before we set the top to 100%. And that's pretty much how we're creating our animation here. So all we need to do now is just apply a few more properties to the anchor tags. So we'll go back up here, and we'll set the display of this to be block. So they're nice and big now. And then let's set the line height to center all of these to be, let's say, 75 pixels. Save that, so that centers our icons. And then because we want these squares to actually be hidden, we'll set the overflow to be hidden. So that hides our boxes there. And then we want these to be underneath the actual icons. So we'll set the z index to be 1. So now if we hover over these icons, you can see it's working just like our demo example. The squares are moving up just as they did before, but because we set the overflow to hidden, it now gives us that effect that their squares are now circles, and this is going to be the same for all of the icons. So what we need to do from here is just give the styling to the actual icons themselves. So we'll say ul li a, and they all have a class of icon. This is all going to be position relative. Let's give these a color of hex 26, 26, 26. And then let's also set the transition of these to be 0.5 seconds. And then we want the icons to be on top so that when we hover over these, we can actually see the icons, because currently right now we can't because the pseudo element of before has got the higher index at the moment. So we'll just set the z index to be 3. So if I hover these now, you can see those icons. And then from here, let's just apply the associated colors of those social media icons. So we have ul li, we'll use the nth child, and we're going to apply this to the first one, and then we actually want to apply this to the before pseudo element, and this is going to be Facebook color, so we'll say background color. This has the hex color of 3B5999, so that's the Facebook one. Let's duplicate this now 3 more times, so for 2, 3, and 4. So YouTube is C430-2B. Snapchat is FFF-C00. And then TikTok is 000. Save that. So now all of our icons have their respective color depending on which social media icon we hover over. And then all we need to do now is just give it that other effect where it rotates and changes the color of the actual icons themselves. So we'll just do that in here. So ULLIA on hover. We want to grab those icons or the icon class. Set the color of these to be white, and then transform. I'm going to say rotate Y. I want to say 360 degrees. Save that. So now this should be just like our demo example. We've got the 4 icons here. We hover over Facebook. It gives us that color background of Facebook while also rotating the icon and changing the color. Then we'll have red for YouTube, yellow and white for Snapchat, and then black and white for TikTok. So our animation is working just like our demo example. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.